All right, let's bring in former senior advisor to President Trump and president of America First Legal, Stephen Miller. You know, Stephen, Dagan just mentioned that the prosecution is boring the mind out of the jury with, a 6-hour summation. But the problem is this is after a 5-week, 4.5-week trial. And I think if you're the jury, and again, I've done a lot of these, they look at, well, is this all you got? This is the extent of the case you have against the former president? We saw what? What's your take on the case, Stephen, so far?
Well, clearly, if the jury is deciding this as a matter of fact and law, it's a 5-minute deliberation and unanimous acquittal. There's no crime here. There's no offense. A retainer payment to a lawyer was categorized by a corporation as a retainer payment to a lawyer. As we all know, there isn't any criminal activity alleged or described at any point in this 5-week trial, which many have commented on is what makes it so astonishing. But the Biden campaign has been sending a clear message, and Joe Biden himself, by announcing he'll make remarks after the verdict, by sending a campaign team to make remarks outside the courthouse today, they are clearly sending the message that we, the Biden government, we, the Biden campaign, want you to achieve a conviction for us. That's what this has always been about. So will the jury decide based on the facts and the law, or will they vote to achieve a Democrat partisan political objective? That's the fundamental question before the nation right now.
Stephen, staying on that they send out Robert De Niro as the doddering, decrepit dipstick in need of an anger enema who is way past his sell-by date, to basically make a doddering, decrepit dipstick who needs an anger enema, who's way by his sell-by date, way past his sell-by date, look better. Like, how does this even work?
So it would be a mystifying move unless I think you get inside the brains and the minds of the Biden team that was working on this. Here's how I can only assume, they obviously haven't shared their notes with me, how I assume they approached this. They said, how do we find a popular New York local who hates Trump and loves Biden, who can make remarks that will be seen on all of the television screens all across New York City? And that's how they picked Robert De Niro. They thought that will be the guy that will get the clearest, loudest message to all of the jurors' friends, families, relations, relatives, everything else. That's what I have to assume was the intention behind it, was to tamper with the jury. However, they underestimated the extent to which Robert De Niro is no longer even marginally coherent as a speaker or performer.
It is jury tampering, but go ahead, Sean. It's jury tampering for them to do it down there across from the courthouse.
Simple, clear as day.
You know, I want to go back to the jury has been out for a week, right? And anyone who's spent time in a courtroom, this is outrageous that they wouldn't do summation and jury instruction and get the case right away. And a lot, again, we're outraged by that. But I think there's a silver lining to this, Stephen, in that if you have jurors that want to go home for the holiday Memorial Day weekend, they're not going to fight for Trump. Listen, I think he should be acquitted, but I think at best he's going to get a hung jury. And to do that, you need jurors who are going to fight for truth, fight for justice, fight for what's right in this case. And the only way you get that is if they don't have, a holiday picnic going on they want to get back to. They're willing to grit it out and stick it out and fight for truth. What say you?
Well, I sure hope and pray that that is what the effect of the delay is that nobody's rushing to get off to a family event if they are indeed doing a 12 Angry Men kind of battle. And let's just be very honest here. Let's not mince our words. The most partisan juries in America are found in 3 cities: L.A., New York, but particularly in Manhattan, and Washington, D.C. It is the most biased jury pool that you will find against any candidate who is a Republican, a conservative, or right of center. So maybe from the standpoint of the judge, who's ruled against the defense on every important legal and procedural motion for this entire trial, the thought process was the opposite, which is let's get these people back home to their very liberal friends, their very liberal family members, their very liberal peers, neighbors, whatever, who are going to try to pressure them to, quote unquote, do the right thing. So look, in a very real sense, just to get to the bottom of this, let's just get to the core of the whole thing. Not one person in America believes that Donald J. Trump is sitting in that courtroom for any other reason than because he's Donald J. Trump. The judge knows that. The prosecution who engineered it knows it. The jury knows it. Everyone commenting on the trial knows it. Everyone observing it. There's no possible reason to think that there's any way that a person not named Donald Trump is on trial for a 6-year-old bookkeeping charge arising from an allegation that's 2 decades old. So the question comes down to this. Is there enough courage left in people who are left of center in this country, who are liberals in this country, who are not Trump supporters? Do they have enough decency and courage left just to follow the law,
Yes.
just to do right by the Constitution? Is there?
Yeah.
That's what this comes down to, because everybody knows there is no crime here.
Right.
And we will see Stephen Miller as we watch this case unfold. We appreciate you.